Well, back in June, Maggie Bridges, a senior at Georgia Tech and a native of Brinson, Georgia, was crowned the 2014 Miss Georgia. Next weekend, she'll be competing against 52 others for the title of Miss America in Atlantic City. Kenny Burgamy caught up with the Bridges family and has their story.
Well, the community of Brinson has a population less than 300 people. Anybody nearby knows Maggie Bridges. That's not just because the 21-year-old is serving as the current Miss Georgia, but that's because she's part of the Bridges family, longtime farmers and business owners in Decatur County.
Maggie's a farm girl, raised up here in the big city of Brinson. It was a first. She's the first Miss Georgia from Brinson, Georgia. And we took a lot of pride in that, in that she was raised on a farm and spent her whole childhood on a farm.
Anybody connected to the Georgia Farm Bureau knows John Bridges. He's a member of the Georgia Water Planting Commission and has long been affiliated with GFB. His granddaughter told me before she ever dreamed of being in a beauty pageant, she was helping her grandfather and her father around the farm and at a produce stand.
Well, but my dad actually is someone who's always been able to explain science to me, whether it's explaining how a seed becomes, a fruit, whatever it may be, explaining an irrigation system and electricity and how it gets to an irrigation system. He's always been able to do that. And I think that's something that's really, really neat is he's a farmer and you wouldn't really necessarily expect for him to know all these things, but he's always been able to explain it to me. And my mom's the same way. She's always been able to explain anything about the human body to me. She's a nurse. It's something I've always admired. So between the two of them and growing up on the farm and getting to just seeing things, seeing what fertilizers can do versus what it can't do, seeing, how certain plants grow versus others, learning how to pick vegetables, like learning when they're ripe, learning when they're not, and, why you shouldn't pick them when they're not ripe. Just learning little things like that kind of inspired me to follow my dreams as far as going into the science field.
Dad said he's proud of his daughter's accomplishments, both in the pageant world and in her academic endeavors at Georgia Tech.
Well, it's such a long shot, that they're a very talented group of girls there, especially when it gets down to the end. All of those girls are very talented, and you just realize that you're very fortunate that she wound up as the last one standing, but really proud of her, really proud of her.
There will be a lot of Georgians cheering for Maggie Bridges during the Miss America contest next weekend, but none more than the Bridges family and community in Southwest Georgia.